Rose and Zoe overthink, ask you questions, leave you on the brink. What's the point of existence? Welcome back to Brains Unpicked.
Hello and welcome back to Brains Unpicked. I'm Rose.
I'm Zoe.
And as usual, we're your 20-something-year-olds who are chronic overthinkers, and we're taking you with us along the way. That was something a wee bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How cool is that? We've got a jingle now. We hope you liked it.
We're stepping up the road, guys. We have a jingle.
I know. Can you believe it?
Who
are we?
Proper podcasters that we don't get paid.
Professionals without the wonga.
Hobbies.
But, yeah.
Hobbyists.
Thank you very much to Matthew.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Yeah. What a solid favour.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No, but that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so guys, big up our jingle because who'd have thought?
It's great knowing musicians. It is a bonus.
It is good.
To know talented people.
Should we get right down into it?
Yeah, man, let's crack on.
Okay. Minor inconvenience.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Right. This is stupid, right? So my minor inconvenience is the saying, it'll only get worse.
Okay.
Because I hate nothing more than speaking to someone who is senior of your age, and you're telling them a story about something and they're like, oh, it only gets worse. So I was talking to my dad the other day because I bought a pair of kitchen skills because I'm going to start like weighing food a wee bit more and things like that, just to be a bit more conscious, right? I've lost them.
Yeah, I don't know how you've done that.
I bought them from Home Bargains. I don't know what day I bought them. I've got no idea what day I bought them. I bought them. I didn't take them out of the packaging, and I don't know where they are. But basically, I was telling my dad about these kitchen scales, and I was going, yeah, like I'm just sick of this. Like I lose everything all the time. Like it's just constant. Like, and he's like, oh, it's only going to get worse. And I was like, cheers, James. That's helpful because I'm 26 years old and I'm on the brink. Because I can't get through an entire day without regularly. Do you know? See this water bottle? If you're not watching, listen. Water bottle. I lose this the second I put it down. I must say 20 times a day, where's my water bottle? Where's my keys? Where's my phone? Like I don't know where anything is ever. How can it get worse?
I don't know. I definitely have that object impermanence thing where if it's not in my direct line of sight, I will never find it again. But I could literally put something down. I could be stood in a spot. I could put something down and not move.
And it's gone.
Yeah. So where did it go? How did it go?
Yeah.
Like, how did it leave?
Maybe my minor inconvenience should be that I lose things all the time, but that's not my minor inconvenience, right?
Yeah.
My minor inconvenience is the sentence. So when you tell something, you get annoyed at something, and you're like, it's something that happens to you so regularly, and you speak to someone just a bit older than you, and they're like, it's going to get worse. What do you mean it gets worse than this?
They think it's helpful. They're like, they're just like trying to lessen the blow. Actually, no, you're invalidating it because how could it get worse than this?
My dad's like, I'm like that all the time, and I'm like, yes, James, but you're in your 50s and are only just recognising this. I'm 26 and this is painful. This is my entire existence.
Yeah.
And has been getting worse. We're at the same point 25 years apart.
Yeah.
What do you mean? My worst is your now.
Yeah.
So in 25 years' time, what's worse?
Exactly. And it's the same. They apply it to everything. Like, you know, if you complain about like an ache or a pain, and they're like, you've no idea what's coming to you. I'm like, that no, you're like you're not helping here.
When you got a job, so I remember like getting a job or volunteering or doing this, and it was like, well, welcome to the big bad world, and I'm like, sorry, what in that sentence is helpful? I'm allowed to complain. I hear you complaining all the time about your work. Why can't I? Because I'm 17.
Exactly.
I can still complain.
Yeah, it's still the same. That we're doing the same thing. Just because you've been doing it for longer doesn't make it any less worse.
You don't have one up on me here.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because when you think about it, I cannot wait then. Like, you know, when they then retire and you can just continue to complain. Well, what have you got to complain about? You're retired.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming over you.
I need to really think about like what is the sentence that I'm going to say, because I am not saying it only gets worse. I can't be that person. And if I have ever been that person, I apologise like profusely, because That is off all the time.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out my mouth, oh, well, it's only going to get worse. That doesn't sit. I'm like, in my head, I'm going to go into my 30s and I'm going to be thriving. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here.
No,
what?
what I want you to say is you just need to figure something out to get your shit together and then you will be fine.
Could you give me some practical advice here? Could you be like, oh, that's such a shame. Have you ever considered putting a magnet inside your entire body so that everything's always attached to you at all times? And I'm like, yeah, I have considered that actually.
Have you ever thought about getting a belt with hooks on it that you could just...
Do you want a Tillman's belt just to live the rest of your life and put everything in the belt and then you'll lose the belt?
Yeah. Just have the same pair of trousers with a million pockets. Yeah.
I'm one of those cloaks that's just got pockets. Everyone's like trying to sell things and I'm here's my water bottle, here's my keys, here's my phone, here's my life.
Yep.
But I think that sentence makes my skin crawl. And I don't know a single person who is older than me that has not said that sentence to me.
Yeah. Or it's all downhill from here.
Yeah. And I can accept the all downhill from here sentence. Like, I can accept it. I mean, I'm against it, but it's like, it's not as bad as, well, it only gets worse. Sorry? Why are you putting such negative words into the world?
They're basically just saying the rest of your life not worth living.
Yeah.
End it now.
Yeah. You might as well stop now because it's only going to get worse.
You think this is hard. Wait for it. I'd rather not do that.
No.
I don't want to do that.
Like, what do you mean I'm going to spend the rest of my life forgetting where things are?
And if it gets worse, then that means I'll never know it. Like, sometimes I know where things is. Yeah. Sometimes I'm all right. Briefly, not often, but if it's getting worse, that means never.
Yeah.
You will never know it.
Do you know how much money I spend because of how many things I lose? Do you know how many pairs of keys I've had to copy because I have locked myself out of my house so many times?
I am so terrified of that.
I've locked myself out of every single flat I have ever lived in. In fact, I've locked myself out of every single house I've ever lived in. I have been locked out of. I've been locked out of caravans. I once shoved my sister through, you know how caravans have those wee tiny windows?
Yeah.
Those wee tiny windows? I shoved her through that and she bruised all her legs, like all her thighs were covered in bruises. And by the time I shoved her through it, she like hit the couch and then my dad woke up and was like, what are you doing? And Saskia's like, we've literally just spent about 45 minutes trying to get in this window and you haven't woken up. You wake up once I'm in, injured.
Had he not woken up when you were like knocking?
No, he didn't wake up.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
He was out.
Out for the count.
Oh my God.
Time. Yeah. So I'm like, what do you mean it gets worse?
Yeah.
Am I gonna because in my lifetime, I'm going to live in many, many more places. Like I don't feel like settling down anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and I seem to move every like 2 years or so, year and a half to 2 years. So if I'm doing that until I'm in my 50s.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing that even if I'm doing that until like my 40s, that's about another what's
a million sets of
10,
scales.
another million sets of scale, another 10 flats to get locked out of, or something like that. Like what? That's wrong maths, but we'll pretend it's right.
And if it gets worse, that means you're probably gonna do it more than once at every flat. You're like,
I have done it more than once.
Yeah, but like
many flats,
multiple, like times that by 2 every time. It's gonna get worse. Apparently, so they say. Can't get better. What do you mean it would get better? That would be too...
Oh, yeah, so do you know what? Actually, what's going to happen is your frontal lobe is genuinely going to develop, and at 25 was a lie, because you felt no difference since you turned 25, and what's actually going to happen is your frontal lobe's going to develop, and you're going to feel a bit more put together, and you're going to be able to... You're not going to lose everything all the time.
See, what I think will happen to me, because this is Sod's Law, right? My frontal lobe will eventually develop years down the line. Like, I will have a brief taste of life where everything works, and then I'll probably get dementia or something.
Oh no, that would be awful.
I know, wouldn't it? It would just go back to...
Have you listened to Sam Fender's new song?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Sam Fender's new song is about his gran who had dementia, and I sobbed my heart out. Now, I've personally never had a relative that's had dementia.
Yeah.
Thank my lucky stars. Like, I'm blessed. However, like this, he's talking about how like his granny had a council house, and they make, like, to other people it's just a council house, but to him it was a home, and to all of them it was a home because they spent so much time there and they grew up there, and like it was a safe place for the grandkids to be and stuff. And my grand's house was like that. And it made me cry my eyes out because it reminded me that I missed my gran a wee bit.
I need to listen to it. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
So good. And it was like that idea of like, I just remember us all running about my grand's house, and then when my gran and papa passed away quite close to each other, and that's not funny, I don't know why I laughed. I'm uncomfortable laughing. But we obviously had to sell the house, and I've never really thought about it until like that until that song, because it's like an ex-council house, but until that song came out, I'd never really thought about how sad it was that like there's all those memories in that house, and whoever's got that house now doesn't know anything about that. And I'm like, that's sad.
That is sad, yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, it's called Remember My Name. Listen to Remember My Name by Sam Fender. You're welcome.
I will do. I listened to Rizzle Kick's new album yesterday.
Oh, I started listening to it, and then I don't know how much I was focusing on it, because
I think I need to give it another listen.
It was on Friday when we were in work, and that was
chaos. Carnage, and despair.
I was like, there's absolutely no way on this earth I'm actually going to be able to fully listen to an album right now. But yeah, so what? That's my minor inconvenience. Is
well, so my minor inconvenience.
Because I was trying to ask you and it didn't come out.
My minor inconvenience. It's not the same, but it's of the same ilk. That like basically it's that my brain doesn't function the way it should. So I don't know about you, but I have never once accurately like estimated how much time any task is going to take me.
Right.
It either takes me way longer or it takes way less time, and I then throw myself off by thinking, oh, that doesn't take me that long, I can piss about before I move on to the next thing, right? But I have never, like, when I plan my days of tasks, I can never accurately predict how much time I'm going to need for any of them. And the entirety of Sunday, even though nothing was like high stakes, like I have to get this done, I spent the entirety of Sunday in like fight or flight mode because I was like, I've not got enough time. I'm running behind. Like you know that rabbit or the hare from Alice in Wonderland. I was like, I'm late. It's not that deep, but like I cannot stick to a schedule. I cannot go, this is going to take me 45 minutes and work that out. I will think, oh, that's going to take me half an hour. It will then take me like 45 minutes and then I'm behind, and then the next thing takes me.
Is yours often that you give yourself not enough time?
Yes.
Okay, I often give myself too much time to do everything. So I'm like, oh, that activity is going to take me an hour and it takes me 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I'm now 55 minutes early for my next thing. So like, say I was going to like, I don't know, tidy the flat and then go meet a friend by 1 o'clock, and I was like, oh, it'll take me 3 hours to tidy the flat. It then takes me an hour to tidy the flat, but then I'm like, I can't just sit for 2 hours because then I'll be late. So then I leave and then I have to potter about for 2 hours somewhere else. So because I'm like, if I sit down, game's a bogey, I'm going to be late for my next thing.
Well, see, that's the thing. So sometimes I do take less amount of time, but my issue is I wouldn't leave early. I would go, oh great, I've got like 55 minutes to sit and I'll like have a minute's peace, but then I will take too long doing that, and I will then be late.
I've made that mistake so many times. So one time I turned up an hour early for my nail appointment. And Kelsey was like, oh, why are you here? And I was like, oh, what do you mean, why am I here? And she's like, you're an hour early. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll go get a coffee. So I was like, I went and got a coffee. I ended up on the phone to someone. I was chatting away. I was down 10 minutes late to my appointment.
Yeah.
And she was like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
And she was like, you are never on time. She's like, you are either early or you are late. You are nothing in between.
Yeah.
And that is, I think,
that
life.
is me. If I am early, I am anxiously early. Yeah. If I am late, that's just the way I operate. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But no, like, see if I worked in a job that was like appointment by appointment basis, like fully appointments, like if I was a nail tech or if I was a doctor, I would be that one person that was running behind all day time. And people would be waiting and they would get pissed off at me. And it would be because I just hadn't accurately predicted how much.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it's not like that I could be doing sometimes it's that I could be doing things faster. I'm just like, I cannot gauge how much like
I tried to explain this to someone before, that I was like, 10 minutes isn't 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes is like, it depends on how I'm feeling that day. Like 10 minutes could be 5 minutes, or 10 minutes could be half an hour.
Yeah.
Like the actual concept, like the value of time, the actual time that it takes, and then the concept of time are two very different things.
Yes.
And I have the concept of time and I have it wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't align with the actual, what's that? There's a word for that, the actual existing time that exists. I keep wanting to say like the
time scale. I don't know.
know.
Yeah, I don't know, but like I am just forever running out of time. Have you ever heard the song "Running Out of Time" by Paramore?
Yeah, I imagine so.
Fucking belter of a song. That is my life. Just constantly like running around like a headless chicken. Like, I'm late, but for deadlines that I have set myself most of the time, so it's not the end of the world if I don't meet them. And I just induce myself with panic and anxiety for no reason. You know that TikTok trend that's like, the problem is that my body doesn't know the difference between being held at gunpoint and doing like some benign that is me.
That is you.
Yeah.
You do get yourself in a fluster.
I do. It's ridiculous.
It's so funny.
It is.
It's not funny. It is really funny. It's very funny to watch Rosa in a fluster. You just have to sit there and go, right, okay.
But yeah, so basically that is my
it's valid.
Minor inconvenience is that, and it's a minor inconvenience. Well,
our minor inconveniences just our inability to do anything. Like, it's normally we're the problem.
Oh, I'm absolutely the problem. Like, not even with a shadow of a doubt. Like, I am the problem, but I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to just calm down, or
don't know
just
how to rationalize my thoughts or emotions in the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how to like understand the passage of time. I don't know how to. Yeah, so if I could just have like a brain transplant to have someone who has lived like a fairly regulated life, that would be nice.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, when you're watching a film, are you watching it and figuring out the plot line and trying to get to the end of the film? Or are you just watching or do you just watch the film and have no thoughts during it? Like you're not thinking about who's coming on screen next, what's the plot line, what's the figuring. Like, are you figuring out the film, or are you just watching the film?
I'm figuring out the film, and I'll tell you something, and I feel that you're gonna not like this, but I've tried to stop doing it. But sometimes I'm like, I have to speak it into existence. But see, if there's like a film where you're trying to work out like who did something or what happened, I have in the past been that person that was like, bet you it's him. No. Or they bet you I predict that this is what happens, blah 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 blah.
So me and my dad are that person.
Yeah.
My dad is incredible at figuring out the pattern in films.
Yeah.
He will know the whole plot line within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm quite good at figuring out films. Saskia, not a thought behind those eyes when she's watching a film.
Really? Yeah.
So we'll be like, dad, and she'll be like, I don't care. She doesn't care to think about it.
Yeah.
And I respect that. Like, I can't believe people go to the film and they just watch it and they're not thinking about what the next scene's going to be and figuring out the plot lines and going, I wonder if this is going to happen. And if that doesn't happen, why didn't they write that? Why didn't they? Like, I am figuring out that entire film. I'm trying to be like 5-10 steps ahead.
Oh, absolutely. Like
everything I watch.
And sometimes it's like when it's a good film, but it keeps you guessing. I like that because I'm like, oh, is this going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes there's films that are so predictable that you're like, I could see that coming from a mile off, and people around you are like, why? But I'm like, I feel like I've seen enough films to know that's exactly how that's.
I prefer when I get to the end of a book or a film or something and it surprises me and I'm like, oh, that's not how I expected it to go.
Because it proves that I wasn't intelligent enough, and that's why I wasn't the one that wrote it. Do you know what I mean?
That you went down a sign of intelligence. I never even associated.
Well, not intelligent, but like that's the reason why somebody else did that instead of me. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the ending was better than what I had thought it was going to be.
Something is a good twist, and I'm like, oh,
yeah, flabbergasted.
Yeah. Now, this kind of ties in with the fact that as a person, I always read the last page of a book before I buy it.
Oh no,
so
I don't do that.
I always read like the last few sentences, just to be like, I wonder if I like the ending before I go. Because by the time I get to the book, I've forgotten what I'd read. Do you know what I mean? Like, I forget.
Fair.
And it doesn't make sense. When you read the ending, it doesn't make sense. So you're a bit like, oh, I want to know why that's the ending. And it's not that I'm like spoiling it myself for me. Like, see if someone was to give me spoilers for a film, I'd be raging.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm spoiling the book for myself, because by the time I read it,
You've forgotten it.
I'm like, oh, I forgot what
I wouldn't do that, but the whole way through a book, I'm like, bet you it's this, or I wonder if it's that, or like they're gonna do this, or whatever. But
there's a writer that I found last year, Cynthia Murphy, I want to say, and her books have got so many twists that I was like, oh, so like I would predict it, and the prediction would come, and I'd be like, why is this happening so early in the book?
Like,
and then
something else,
and I'm like, wow,
that's my bread and butter. Just like so good. I can't remember, and to be honest, it's been so long that I've read something like that has genuinely had me on the edge of my seat. But no, I am, and there are people that get annoyed at you that you'll come out with it if you say it out loud, that, oh, I bet you this is going to happen when you're watching a film. They'll be like, well, why am I bothered watching it now? I'm like, to see whether or not I could be totally wrong. And if I'm right,
amazing,
commend me, please.
And if I'm wrong, even better. I just, it baffles me that someone watches a film and they're just watching the film. I'm like, what do you mean you're not predicting the whole film, and you've ruined it all for yourself, and then you find out whether you're right or wrong? Like,
exactly. And I want to ask questions at the same time, because
my thing is, see, when I'm in the cinema, I don't want a single soul to speak to me.
Right.
I don't want to talk to anyone. See, when I'm not in the cinema, I'm quite happy to have a conversation when we're watching a film and like predicting things and stuff. But in the cinema, don't talk to me, don't look at me.
I think
we're here together, but we might as well not be.
There's certain films. I remember me and my friends went to see, it was have you ever seen Maxine, like the X trilogy? Well, it was the third film in this trilogy, right? So we'd seen the first two, and there was no one else in the cinema. We were the only three people in that screen, and we just treated it like the living room, and we were like, oh, like and talking about it all the way through. Most of the time there won't be, I won't really speak in the cinema, but if there's something funny, I will make a comment about it.
Someone will make a comment to me in the cinema, and I'll be like, and they'll do it again, I'll be like, and nothing else will come from me. Even you asking me for, can you pass that over? I'm like, why are you talking? Shut up. Like, I want to watch the film. I want to be in this experience. Like, this is my experience. At home, like, it depends. Like, if someone interrupts my TV show, I'm like, I pause it. I'm aggressive.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you doing? So this is why I quite like watching things on my own. And then I'll rewatch it with someone, so that I'm then quite happy to talk. But most of the times when I watch a film with people, I'm like asking questions, or I'm Googling people to be like, who is that? What are they from? I need to know who that is, because I can't sit still and have to think, oh, who is that?
But I like to see when I'm like, oh, I know their face, right? I have to give myself a period of time where I'm like, I'm just going to guess who this is. I need to think back to it before I can Google it, because that feels like giving in.
I very much go, who is that? And then we try to figure it out. Sometimes we need to pause it to try and figure it out. And then we Google it.
No, I am very much that. Speaking of something that I can't guess what's happening, right, or where it's going, I have just finished season 2 of Am I Being Unreasonable?
Yes.
To the point where the last episode was such a cliffhanger, I went, there must be another episode coming. But it went, you know, when it does the, like, play the next episode, it went on to another series, and I was like...
Yeah, so...
What?
Weirdly, I've been watching quite a lot of shows recently. And everything's amalgamated into the one now, so I can't remember what's a cliffhanger and what's not. But I do think that I had a similar feeling after that, but I can't remember what happened.
But yeah, no, like, that's one of the things I'm like, I can't predict where this is going, or I can't figure out, I can't make the pieces fit together.
That program at all. I'm like, every time, I feel like I forget the plot. Like, it's a brilliant show.
I can't forget who's done what evil thing, or like who, and it is a good program. It was funny as well. but yeah, and now I'm like, well, how long have I to wait for the next
Exactly.
season? Because I'll have totally forgotten about it by then. Yeah. So my brain unpicked is also about a TV program, because I feel like we're all on the same wavelength today. Although I feel this is more of a niche one, right? But I know that you'll get it. So Pottery Throwdown's on at the moment, right?
Yes, I do love a little bit about Pottery Throwdown.
Yeah, and I just feel, how refreshing is it that I feel that program is kind of genuinely taking on toxic masculinity without it being like a massive thing surrounding it. Like they're just like,
they all just love pottery so much.
They do, and there's 2 male judges and like a female
presenter. Do you know that Siobhan McSweeney's presenting
Traitors Ireland?
Traitors?
Yes. Ooh. I saw Nicola Coughlan being interviewed about it and she was so excited. I was like, I love that.
This episode is just a pop culture
episode. It is. But yeah, that'll be so good. I love Siobhan McSweeney. Any of the Derry girls, to be honest. They're just so good. But yeah, so like they have 2 male judges but that's like, it's not coming across like, oh, we're 2 men, manly men, like, judges. There's nothing wrong with that. But, like, they're just really thoughtful. They're caring. Like, they always ask, like, they're genuine when they ask contestants their stories and, like, how they've decided to do something. They genuinely care about their finished product and how it made, like, the potter feel when they've made it. And they're just not, like, afraid to like express their actual emotions.
Yeah, like there's just no, like, you know how you've always got like there's a good, bad and a bad judge. Like, they always kind of like good guy, bad guy, cop, or whatever. Good cop, bad cop. That's what I was trying to say. They always try to do like that kind of technique, and like, so if you think about the Bake Off, like Hull Pollywood, it's like, what did I just say?
Hull Pollywood. On the topic of Paul Hollywood, anytime he's mentioned, I nearly wet myself laughing, because I just remember when I was getting my nails done one day, we were talking about Bake Off, and we like got onto the topic of like Paul Hollywood, and someone in the salon was like, oh, I like a bit of Paul Hollywood. And one of the other girls went, oh no, he's just not my shape. Like, she doesn't like my shape. And he is very rectangular. Have you ever seen that meme of Mike Wazowski stood there with like his arms? That's how I interpret Paul Hollywood these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's got that very like bad cop.
Yeah.
Like, it's an honour if he says something nice about your stuff. Whereas these 2 judges, there's no bad guy, and they're both lovely. Yeah. And they just genuinely care about bringing up like these potters.
Yeah.
And
like their baseline is nice.
Yeah.
And when they're critical, they're
constructive.
It's constructive. Yeah. It's not like you did this really badly. It's like, we see where you went here. This is what you've done wrong. So like next time they can sort it out. It's not like
it's like a nurturing program.
Yeah,
and I think that there's something quite beautiful in that, because you don't get a lot of competition shows that have a nurturing tone to them. And I think that actually there should be.
Absolutely,
it works so well that they all do, like, because it doesn't feel like a competition. Mm-hmm. It feels like you're following someone's journey and someone's
definitely
growth.
Yeah,
and like you're happy for whoever wins, because they're not making villain edits and making out horrible people. Like, it is just people that are talented, having a good time, competing against each other and learning new skills and getting compliments along the way.
Definitely. And I think it has an impact on the contestants as well, because there's like an older guy that's...
Oh, see when he cried.
I know, like...
just 2 grown men crying at each other over a bit of clay.
Yeah.
I was like, my heart.
I know, and then it was like, Siobhan said that, and they were like, not Rich, what's his... oh my god.
I don't know any of their names. I'm useless.
The one that normally cries, oh my god, I've forgotten his name. This is gonna annoy me. But he was like, but like while he was crying, he was like, but we're not crying over clay. Like, it's about his achievement. And I'm like, oh, it's just so lovely.
It is. It's beautiful.
However, what I will say about that program is it does stress me out. You know when like at the end of their challenge, and Siobhan's like, you've got 10 seconds to get everything into the drying room. And they've all got these massive clay constructions, and they're all running through the door, holding these clay constructions. Some of them are running out of the door while one of them's running in, holding their thing. And I'm like, somebody's going to knock that off. Like, if I couldn't be anywhere near that, because I would destroy everything unintentionally. But yeah.
Do you know what also, speaking on like the kind of competition shows, again, kind of tailing back to my Brains Unpicked, do you ever think about what you would make in that challenge week? Because I do.
Sometimes, yeah, it depends what it is.
I think I get distracted in the episode because I'm like, what would I make?
Yeah.
So they were making vegetable lamps.
Yeah.
And I was like, what vegetable would I make? And I was like, I settled on a potato. I would have made a potato lamp.
That is a good one.
And it would have had little, it would have been an overgrown potato, so it would have little sprouts coming out and stuff. Because I think that would have looked really pretty.
Yeah.
Like they would have been kind of white, and that would have looked really pretty when the light hit the little sprouts, and it's like, gross, okay.
I think
okay
I would have made
in the back of the cupboard.
That is so true. I like that. I think I would have made a tender stem broccoli.
Oh, nice.
So you get you could have the little stalks, and then the light is at the top, but the light hits off of a couple of the little...
So every week when I watch a competition show, I'm like, what would I have done?
Oh my god, because we frequently message oh, did you see blah blah blah. Now we should message what would you have made in that challenge? I would love to hear that.
I'm always 4 or 5 days behind.
That's fair.
I'm terrible.
I only watch it when I can, and it so happens that it's a Sunday night, and I'm like, I can watch that.
Yeah.
For
this
this
I
one,
get to a Sunday night, I'm too busy having the Sunday scaries to care about watching
fair.
anything.
Yeah, fair.
Comfort shows.
Well, I think that's why I watch it, because I'm like, this is soothing. This is relaxing. But yeah, well, the likes of Bake Off, I don't know what I would make for in Bake Off they're all oh, your unique flavors. I don't know what flavour combinations to do. Everything would be boring and bland if I made it.
I've got the palate of a toddler. There's no way that I'd be coming up with anything exciting.
Every cake week, I'd just be carrot cake.
Orange and lime.
Yeah. Don't know. Also, I do feel that Rich doesn't get as much limelight, though, as a judge.
That's true.
He's kind of he's the supportive one, supportive friend, but he's quieter. But then maybe that's just how he likes it. Yeah.
I like the dynamic of the show.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. So that was my Brain Unpicked. Yeah.
Interesting. Lovely.
But I feel like we've been on the same sort of wavelength.
It's been a while since we've been on an episode that has been the same wavelength. That's been quite opposite recently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice.
I wonder if our Would You Rathers will go the same way. So as part of my Would You Rather, you're a mythical being.
Okay.
Right?
Of any of my choosing?
Yes, okay. Because if you were a mythical being, would you rather that your realm was in the sky or in the water or the underworld or something?
This is an excellent question. I know what your answer is.
Do you?
Yours will be underworld, will it not? You
Do
have
you
said
the
this
underworld?
to me before.
Yeah.
That you would want in the underworld, but maybe it won't be your choice.
Well, I'm ruling out the sky. I don't think I'd be a sky being.
Could I give an alternative where it's a Lion Witch in the Wardrobe type vibe where someone opens a cupboard door to my realm?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I would dig that.
Okay.
That would be my vibe.
But what would your realm look like then? Because it's in this
forest.
Ah, do you like that? And what would you be then?
I don't know.
A forest witch, or not sure?
It would be a beautiful enchanted forest with fairy pools and a beautiful loch and wilderness.
I do like that. That.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There would be remains of old ruins, but there wouldn't be a big castle that someone lives in or anything like that. It would just be beautiful and enchanted and
that does sound like a nice land. I do like that. See, out of the three,
I suppose I should answer the actual would you rather. So that's my preference.
Okay. Yeah.
Back to the would you rather.
Well, on you go.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Well, out of the three, I feel like if my realm could be the sea, but I would like it. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was just me in the sea, I would
it
not
be
like that.
below the sea, like under the sea?
Yeah, I
or
suppose,
would it
like-
be like above the sea but like surrounded by it and like everything?
No, I think it would be below the sea, like as if you were like a mermaid.
I think
or...
mine would be underworld.
Okay, yeah, I could see you in the underworld.
Sky. You don't want to be no, I'm scared of heights. No, it's relevant. But nah, I don't think I want to be. It feels too like authoritarian to be in the sky.
Yeah, I feel like all
Feels
the
like too
slightly
much,
boring ones are in the sky.
Feels
do
too
you know what I
much like I think I'm better than everyone else if I was in the sky.
Yeah,
That doesn't
I'm
fit my vibe.
mean? Up there looking down on you.
Yeah, I don't think I like
Yeah.
that. Like I just clouds, yes, but no, I just don't feel like I'd get enough out of that.
No, I think if it could be like Little Mermaid style, like the sea is fun and not scary, and like, or like I'm friends with.
Fish that came to the
Stop!
surface?
I was talking about this. Yeah, but it's so sad.
Like, how did it get there?
I don't know,
Why
but
is
did
it
you see
come
how
up?
small it is?
But then I'm very confused because everything that I'm reading about those type of fish, it doesn't make sense to why that little fish was so wee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because apparently the female fish are bigger, and then found out interesting facts about the male anglerfish.
Okay.
The male
Yes.
the male anglerfish like is teeny tiny,
Right.
and it latches on to the female, and basically just reproduces with the female, and then eventually it'll just die, and his balls just stay there to like remain reproducing or something like that. I don't know if this is true. It all came from TikTok. so it's
Nature
probably
is
not.
so weird.
Um,
If that is true,
But yeah.
his balls live on, but
But
he
doesn't.
dies.
But apparently the male anglerfish is angler? Is that how you say it?
Angler.
Angler. Is teeny tiny,
Right.
and then the female's bigger. But then this female one's like tiny. So I'm
Yeah.
like, is it,
But
I don't
maybe
know, I'm
she was just a
not-
young one. I don't know.
I'm not fully on.
Yeah.
I don't think they lived for like 25 years or something. But then I don't know how much I believe it because
Yeah.
all of my information is from TikTok. I haven't read a single article.
Yeah.
So everything I have just said, do not take that verbatim and don't think that that's my opinion on it.
No, that's
I'm
allowed.
purely
That's,
just chronically online.
But it's so sad. Like she's just away. Like she literally went towards the light. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Is
but
what's happening down there? Was she
exactly, that's what
ostracised?
freaks me out. No, like was
Is
she
there something
ostracized or
new?
was she like shit's about to happen? I'm getting out of here. Do you know what I mean?
Should we be scared?
I
feel
think
scared.
so. Yeah, I'm scared.
What if there's a big, massive one?
I do believe I've said this before on this podcast. What if the Kraken's come in?
The only Kraken I like is rum.
Exactly. Yeah. Because
Terrified.
we're ruining this planet. It's only a matter of time before shit that we don't know starts waking up.
We do not know
Because
enough about
in the
this
words of Billy Connolly, there's things that live down there that are just a row of teeth in an arsehole, which is basically what that little tiny fish was,
ocean.
and
No,
a
I'm
light
so-
bulb,
I'm
basically.
so scared. I'm
So
scared.
if we don't know about those things, Lordy knows.
But yeah, no, I couldn't think of anything worse than having a realm in the ocean, actually. That would be my worst nightmare.
I just feel, I do like the thought of the underworld, right? But I feel like it'd be quite cold. I'm imagining like big, like long, echoey, dark corridors. And I feel like
Don't
at least there
fire.
would be colour in the ocean. Like there would be like starfish and like I would be friends with sharks probably if I was like, if my
I
realm
think
was the
the
ocean.
bar in the underworld would be really good. Like, I think the pub in an underworld would be unreal.
It would.
And
Because it
that
would
sells it
be,
to their
yeah.
own. I don't think that the pub anywhere else is going to be as good as it is in the underworld. That's going to be an
That's
interesting.
true.
That's
But you
the
would
kind of pub I
probably,
want to be
yeah,
in.
you would probably have to get on a gondola to get to it. Do you know what I mean?
That's fine. I reckon it'd be the best pub out of the three.
Probably, yeah,
And that's enough for me.
fair.
I'll have a good pub.
I imagine the drinks in, like, it would be like really sophisticated cocktails in the underworld, right? Fruity cocktails, like with umbrellas and different coloured straws and bits of pineapple decorating the glasses under the sea, and then it would just be like prosecco or like champagne in the sky.
I feel like they would have like Underworld would be like cocktails that are set on fire and things like
Yeah.
that. Like they would be like
those
party cocktails,
ones that are like
Molotov cocktails
have
kind of
like
vibe and that.
like smoke that come out of them, and
like alchemist kind of vibe, like
Yeah.
scientific cocktails.
Yeah.
I think that your house like see your basic cocktails, your basic cocktail menu. I think that would be up in.
they're definitely drinking porn star martinis.
Yeah, and there would be like prosecco and champagne and all of the wines and but I think like cocktail wise, I really hope that this hasn't picked up the noises my belly has made the entire episode, by the way, because it has been rumbling non-stop. I don't know if you've heard that. It's been making so many weird noises.
But my throat made a really weird gurgle. Weird gurgle right at the start, and it was like right there, so it probably did hear that.
But yeah, I reckon that I think you're right about the sea. They would have like fruity fun cocktails, probably like ones with bubbles and stuff. Like
they're like
Missoula
pina coladas.
Like you know when you go and get a drumstick and things like that. Like your fruity fun like
woo woo.
Yeah. All your like showy cocktails.
Yeah.
And the Underworld's got your scientific smoke and all sorts.
But yeah, if outside of that, if we could choose our realm, I wouldn't go for any of those three, probably. I would enjoy a forest, I think. Do you know what? I think I would enjoy like a house on a cliff, but there's a forest that I can retreat to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, mine would be like a magical, enchanted forest. It'd be so pretty. There'd be fairy lights all around the trees that are solar powered.
I'm imagining like your house is a mushroom.
Yeah.
yeah, that's very you.
All the houses are mushrooms.
Yeah.
Are different, like...
Yeah. Like, you know how people, like, in this realm build, like, little fairy gardens? That's what I would imagine. Yeah.
And they'd be like, it was so beautiful. The rock pools and, like, everywhere would, like, all the trees would have, like, little fairy lights that are all, like, solar panels. So it's obviously not damaging. Also, it's magic, so who cares how it's there. And, like, they would all lead to that. It'd be so beautiful and cozy.
Yeah. If I had to choose the sea, I would hope it was like, did you ever watch H2O, Just Add Water?
Yeah.
And I would have powers, but I would have all three of their powers.
The condensation.
Clear! The bathroom's free! What a time.
Yeah, so my would you rather...
Hit me.
Is... Now, I think I know what your answer is going to be for this, but regardless of the fact, I'm going to ask it. So, would you rather... Every time that you needed to go to the bathroom, you had to perform your bowel movements or bladder movements in front of a stadium audience. Every single time.
Right.
Or every morning that you wake up, you get dropped to a random country and have to find your way back and still be on time for like work or something like that. And you can't use like Google Maps or anything, like you're just dropped. You don't know where you are, you're just dropped somewhere and you need to figure your way back.
So, question. So I could be put in like Afghanistan at like 7 o'clock in the morning and you're telling me that I need to find my way back to Aberdeen
within the day.
Within the day.
Ideally, you would make it back in time for work, but
for 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
But you would need to get back to the like. You would still need to be able to. You would need to be able to do your work activities.
Right.
So if you don't make it back in time for starting work, you still need to be able to achieve your job. But you need to get back to Aberdeen, or you need to get back to where you live by bedtime.
Right. So. Do I have my work laptop with me when I get dropped off?
But you have no access to Google Maps.
Okay.
You have necessities, food, You just don't have Google Maps. And I suppose you have enough money that would get you back.
Right. I would just like to say, I currently live a 5-minute drive from where I work, 20-minute walk at most, and I still don't get in on time most days. Not that we have a set time to be in for, but like I aim for 9 o'clock every morning.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it rarely happens. And this is what I mean about I don't understand what time it takes me to do things, because for some reason I make the same mistake every day. And that I still get up at the same time knowing that... And then sometimes I'll put it back. I'll be like, I'll get up earlier.
Yeah.
But somehow I'm still late and I don't understand how.
Yeah.
Anyway, irrelevant. Questions about the first scenario. So I'm just chilling. I go, oh, I need the toilet. Is there just randomly a stadium audience there, or do I have to go and seek out where there is a studio?
No, it'll just, you'll sit on the toilet and it'll just snap you into the stadium audience, and as soon as you finish your business, it'll snap you back to where you are.
Right.
I've expanded from what this Would You Rather said on TikTok, I think, based on that.
Okay.
These little snippets of information,
right.
But this is what I've decided.
Okay. I feel like if I left every time that I needed to go to the toilet, I would have no option that I would just simply have to go. Like, so for context, we've spoken about this before, but if anyone hasn't heard that episode, I can't pee when there's anyone else there. So like if even
very bad
like
pee anxiety.
in cubicles, like if there's somebody in the cubicle next to me, I just have to wait until they go.
There has been times where I went into the toilet and work, and Rose has went, Zoe, is that you? And I go, yes. I'm like, do you want me to leave? And she's like, no, I'll just wait.
There was one time you came in and I went, so is that you? I could tell by the shoes you were in, and I just knew it was like I could hear that it was your footsteps.
I've got big platform shoes all the time.
And I was like, so is that you? She was like, yeah. And she went, do you want me to sing it? And I went, no, I want you to pee fast and leave. But I like the consideration.
I'm so funny.
It's like, no, just pee as fast as you can and get out.
Did
Leave
I
me
sing?
to...
Did I sing
No,
anyway?
no.
Oh, I wish I did. That would have been funnier.
Sometimes you can time it well to like the time of someone flushing the toilet or like the hand dryer going on, but whatever. So, but I feel like that's because
Did you grow up with a naked mum?
No.
I think that correlates.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I would just have to hold it until I was bursting absolutely every time, and then I would have no option but to go. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't think I would be able to, like, I have no sense of direction, do you know what I mean? And I'm useless in a crisis. So if I were to be dropped somewhere that I have no idea where I am, I just don't think I would be able to find my way home. I'm not resourceful.
Yeah.
I would buckle immediately. I'd be like, this is too much stress. I actually don't want to go to work, and I would just lose my job. Do you know what I mean? The
You would
stakes
still be living in Afghanistan.
the stakes are too high.
You'd be like that wee American woman that was refusing to leave Pakistan.
I'd be like, I'm here now. I run the government. We're changing up how we do things. Is she still there, by the way?
I have no idea. Honestly, it's so sad. She's probably very unwell.
Yeah, but that so as much as I hate that that's the option I'm gonna have to go with, I'm gonna have to go with. But so I have to shit in front of a yeah.
All bathroom activities. Not showering.
Can they see me or can they just hear me?
No, you're like in front of the audience.
I think if I were put in a different place, I would just remain there, and that's not playing along with the scenario.
But then you would fall asleep the next day, and you'd get put somewhere else.
Oh right, okay. So I could
just move every single day, really. Every time, if you like.
Okay. Well, and at no point I have to work because.
Well, you should work.
But but would I get away with it if I?
The aim is to get home.
Right. Bye. I'm solo traveling, guys. This is my gap year.
I suppose you could, like, for a while, you could hand in your notice, do that for a year, and then be like, right, I've visited so many places, I'm really good at getting back.
Yeah. Do you know what I would do? I would try and get around it by I would start up a magazine, a community magazine in every place I went.
I can just imagine, like, you fall asleep, you wake up and you're in a random place, and you're like, right, how do I get back? But then one day you wake up and you're just like down the road. You just woke up and you're like 2 minutes from work and you're like,
and when I wake up, am I still like in my bed or am I just like lying on the floor on the ground?
I didn't think that far into it, to be
right
honest.
Okay.
So what is your
I
choice?
would like to take the piss. If I could, I would try and get away with the moving about for as
Okay,
long
so you're
as I
going
could.
to choose the waking up
Yeah.
in a random location.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think I would. I think I'll go for the toilet one.
Okay.
Because I actually like the idea of like waking up in a random location. I really like the idea. And quite a lot of YouTubers and stuff do it where like they just randomly get on a train, they get off somewhere, they explore it, or they all get put in a random location, they have to find their way back to a centre location. Like,
Yeah.
that sounds like my idea of a good time. However, it's always with someone.
Yeah.
If I had to do it on my own, I don't think I would enjoy it. I think I would be like, I can't be bothered with this. This is too much work. But I think that if I was with people, like if I woke up if it was like, say I lived with someone and it was always us, I'd be like, this is unreal.
Yeah.
Like, this is so fun.
Yeah.
Because it was like you were going on adventures together every day, but that wouldn't be the case. It would be just you by yourself. That doesn't sound like a good time to me. However, peeing and pooing in front of an audience every time I go to the bathroom, I think that I would then start to treat that like some sort of comedy show or something.
You definitely
I'd be
would.
like, buckle in, this is going to be a big poo, guys. And have a chit chat with people.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would I think I would forget that I'm on the bathroom and it would just become a performance for me. It would do really well for my confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you would play it up like, you know, when you get like fart sound effects, you would make a joke out of it, and
Yeah, I think that I could find the humour in having to go to the bathroom in front of an audience.
Yeah.
I just don't like. I am one of those people that will go on FaceTime and then be like, oh, I need to go to the toilet, and bring the phone with me, like, and put it down somewhere.
Yeah.
They can't see me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
conversation is still had. They're talking away and I'm on mute. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
not as if there's going to be like a microphone directly next to the toilet, so that they
That's
can
true.
hear
Yeah.
the whole noise. Like, the stadium's not going to hear that much. If you're up in the nosebleeds, you're not going to.
Oh no, I'm imagining
not
you're
gonna hear that
mic'd up.
splash. I might be mic'd up, but the toilet isn't going to be mic'd up.
Right, okay, well,
surely
yeah.
not. They're not going to mic up the toilet.
I mean, well, but...
I reckon I would do a joke one time, like, bloop. But
yeah.
this is outing me on so many levels. I've been a grotty human being.
I feel like
regret
if they
seeing all
went
of
to the
this.
effort of putting you in front of a studio audience, they would be miking up the toilet.
Stadium
Yeah,
audience.
sorry, I keep saying studio, I mean stadium. But yeah, like, I feel like they would mic up the toilet.
Like, no, but I don't know, because, like, see, for example, if you go to a concert,
Mm-hmm.
you don't hear their feet moving when they're dancing about.
No.
So you wouldn't.
But is the toilet the
hear it.
instrument? The
No,
instrument?
it's not a show.
Right.
I would just turn it into a show.
Right, okay.
One day I
Okay,
would just be in a
yeah.
chicken suit. Like, I would find that I would turn it into like a really fun game.
Right, okay. Yeah,
I'd be like,
that tracks.
I'd be like going into the bathroom with a basketball hoop and a ball, and everyone would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "It's time to poo."
I see that for you, yes. Yeah, no, I think I'm still gonna stick with like being put
Fair
in a
enough.
random place. I think it would go badly for me. I would walk down like places where I'm not meant to be. I would end up in like red light districts. I'd be scared for my life. But you know what? I'd rather do that.
That's fair enough. I thought that might be your answer.
Yeah.
To be fair. But yeah, so that brings us quite nicely on the thought of bathrooms and getting lost. Brings us to an end. And it's funny that we started the episode, me talking about losing things, and we end the episode with you getting lost across the
Yeah.
world. Full circle.
It'll be me. You lose next. There you
Yeah.
go.
Bye.
Bye. You'll never see me again.
But yeah, so we have been Brains Unpicked. If you did like it, please like, comment, subscribe, rate it, all of the things, all of the engagements, please do that. And if you didn't, leave a hate comment. So, you know.
Should we hear that jingle one more time?
Do you know what? Let's do the jingle again.
Do it.
Bye.
Bye.